I'm unemployable. No one wants to employ me. I know I can be a better boss. Something on social media might trigger me to feel like I'm missing out, feel like a failure, and now I'm more likely to compound failure throughout the day.
You can get off by just a little and your efficiency starts to be off.
I think there's a gift to just being, for lack of a better term, ignorant. If I wake up within 20 minutes of my alarm going off, I don't go back to sleep, I just get up. I'm like, if you just watch what winners do and do what they do, odds are you will eventually.
Bedros Keuilian, welcome back to the show.
Tom, thank you for having me again.
I'm stoked, man. So why is it that people that are hyper successful are so obsessed with getting their morning routine right? And what should everybody watching this right now do to make theirs crispy?
That's a really good question. I think the morning routine is something that will set anybody up for success, right? Because when you wake up and I wake up and the next guy wakes up, we all have about the same number of time.
The same?
Actually, exactly the same number of time. And so since we know that, that means what you do versus what I do matters. And so if I'm screen sucking, the moment I get up, I'm looking at social media, what's going on Facebook, who's talking about what on Instagram, and you're like, hey, I've got this GSD list. I call it the get shit done list. And the GSD list is you're just gonna wake up and dominate your day. Like my morning routine is wake up, never hit the snooze button. We've talked about this on your show previously. Drink my 30 ounces of water because Sean Stevenson said so, and then take a shower, and then end up downstairs with my protein shake and my coffee and more water and work off my GSD list. Like that sets me up to win. Checking in on social media is not part of my morning routine because all of a sudden, something on social media might trigger me to feel like I'm missing out, might trigger me to feel like I should have been at an event, might trigger me to feel like a sense of guilt, a sense of shame, a sense of whatever. And any of those things, any of those feelings and emotions are not things that I would take into the battle of business. And I'm in the battle of business because when I make money, I can have a greater sense of meaning with it. And so I cannot take emotions and feelings and thoughts that I got from social media, especially in the morning, to the battlefield of business where I do most of my heavy work in the morning. So that morning routine sets me up to win. And as soon as I'm done with my GSD list by about 9 a.m., like you can set your clock to me. I go right to the gym, work out, intentionally put my phone in my cubby at the gym. And because again, I'm susceptible to looking at the screen. And if I'm doing that, all of a sudden my workout is less than stellar, which means I feel like a failure. And now I'm more likely to compound failure throughout the day. So that's how I look at it. So conversely, if I slept in, hit the snooze button, didn't drink 30 ounces of water, just took a sip of water, now I'm gonna be late to work, I feel rushed, the subconscious mind is telling me that I'm a loser, I'm a failure, I'm an imposter. How are you gonna go lead an international franchise or a supplement company or write another book when you're a loser, dude, right? The subconscious mind speaks to us, that's the inner critic. And so to shut down the inner critic and give voice to the inner advocate, a strong morning routine sets you up to win the day. You win the day, you win the week, and then off you go. You've won a year and then a decade.
It's so crazy to me how much that matters. Like you can get off by just a little and your efficiency starts to be off and then the day just isn't as useful as it could have been. And it really does start with the morning. Like getting people to understand if you get the morning right, then the rest of your day, you're gonna be able to be far more productive. And when you start stacking those things, that really is the difference between somebody that accomplishes a lot and somebody that doesn't. Look, I don't wanna deny that intellect plays a big role, education plays a big role, but if you are inefficient, to your point about, okay, we all have the same number of hours, so it comes down to how are you spending your time. But there's something like, I find myself wanting to say more words because there's something ineffable that I'm not capturing yet, which is, there is a really subtle difference between a high performance day and a mediocre day. And when I think about, certainly the thing that has been my superpower is I'm able to generate momentum. So I can go from standing still, nobody knows who I am, nobody believes in what I'm trying to do, we don't have a company incorporated, like all of that. And then, those first, like getting the machine moving is so hard. That's what I can do. And whether that's a new project, whether that's a whole company, whatever, I can get those early things going. Every day feels like that. And on the days where I am battered and beaten psychologically, and what I call hiding in bed. And I'm hiding in bed, and even if I just miss getting out of bed, because I give myself 10 minutes. If I get out of bed in 11 minutes, I'm like, I know where this goes. There's something I'm pushing against that is stop. Either I didn't go to bed on time, I didn't sleep well, I'm stressed, whatever. But there's something going on that made getting up unusually hard that day. And then it just spirals. And so getting people to understand how important it is to do the most important things first, do them efficiently, get the psychological momentum going so that you can believe in yourself, you have that credibility, you get going, it really makes a big difference.
Huge.
But it's hard to explain.
It is hard to explain, but sometimes you don't need an explanation. For example, if you just watch what winners do and do what they do, odds are you will eventually have a similar outcome. Great example is, I believe you may have shared this at either Fleischman's Elevator Nights when we all spoke there, or it might have been on when you were kind enough to come and do my podcast. But you said, if I wake up correct me if I'm wrong, if I wake up within 20 minutes of my alarm going off, I don't go back to sleep, I just get up. I'm like, I'm adopting that. I'm adopting that. Now, if it was some crackhead who robs banks says that, I may not adopt that. But you're someone I respect, that I want to be like and emulate. You know what? I'm going to add that to my repertoire. Like, I don't know why Sean wrote in his book that you need to drink 30 ounces of water in the morning. I don't care why. I trust him, and I trust that he's a great scientist, and he's all about human optimization. I'm going to do that. I trust you as an entrepreneur and someone I look up to in this category of life. I'm going to do that. And so I just started adopting things. And I think there's a gift to just being, for lack of a better term, ignorant. Like, they say ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
So much of my success has just been because no one told me that I couldn't fly. No one said you don't have wings. And so I was just like, watch this, and I flew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I created a software company with no software background, a franchise I dropped out of college in 32 days, bro, out of junior college, right? They're like, well, you don't have a law degree.
Let's pause on that. Why did you drop out?
I just felt like I didn't belong. I was constantly, just like high school, I felt constantly behind, and I figured, all right, I'm going to go to junior college and see if I can get on track, because they say go to college where you're new to, I would be the first family member to graduate college, because remember, we escaped Soviet Union and came here when I was 6, and so it was a big deal, and I felt that pressure on me, and I truly wanted to have a college degree just to say I've done this, right? But just like high school, it felt like I didn't belong. It felt like I would have to study 3 or 4 or 5 times harder than everyone else. And I remember in high school, the FOIL method. Remember FOIL, first, inner, outer, last?
Nope.
See that? No one does.
Never heard that.
But it was part of algebra or something.
Oh,
but
God, I cheated my way through all of mathematics. I have no idea.
God bless you. I was so bad at it that I remember showing my answer and the teacher going, but you're not going to get credit because you didn't do FOIL. And this is the only thing I remember about high school, because she chastised me so much. She says, you didn't do the first, inner, outer, last. You didn't show your work, yet you got the answer. And I remember thinking, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, man. I'm going to produce the results.
You already knew that?
I knew that. I was going to be my own boss.
Wow.
I'm going to be my own boss. I need to produce an outcome. And people are going to produce outcomes for me. I don't care how they produce it. Don't produce it unethically. Don't produce it by cheating someone, killing someone. But produce the outcome I want. And I will actually reward you for producing it faster. Instead of doing this amount of work, if you can do this amount of work and produce the outcome, our industry rewards that. The education system doesn't. And so the same thing happened in college. So 31, 32 days in, I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm falling behind. I feel like a dumbass. I'm having to study 3, 4 times as much to remember things that I feel are irrelevant to my path in life. And so I moved on, was like, all right, full in entrepreneurship.
Did any of that chip away at your belief that you could do the entrepreneurship thing? Or you just knew this isn't going to matter?
I felt that I was so unemployable in terms of every job I had gotten fired from also, right? Except for Disneyland. I worked at Disneyland for 6.5 years. I didn't get fired, I quit. Every other job I got fired from. The bagel store on Balboa Island, Adventure City, you name it, every place. And so I was like, I'm unemployable. No one wants to employ me. I know I can be a better boss, and have people like me who are, I don't know, maybe a bit of misfits, free thinkers, outcome producers without showing the work for me. And I'll create my own little tribe. I've always known I was a black sheep. And so school and not doing well in school did not deter me from being an entrepreneur. In fact, all it did was say, this is your only path, dude. No one's going to employ you. You're unemployable. You're going to lose every job you have. And it was because of the conflict that I have. I always questioned authority. And I think that's a great behavior to have, but know that if you constantly question authority, you're probably not employable, right? The whole idea of having a boss is they're your source of authority. And so I always questioned authority. I questioned the education system. And so I knew that I had to beat my own path. So all it did is solidify my resolve.
Tom Bilyeu and Bedros Keuilian discuss the critical importance of morning routines for success. Bedros highlights that a well-structured morning routine helps set a positive tone for the day, leading to better focus and productivity. He avoids social media in the morning to prevent negative emotions, such as FOMO or guilt, from affecting his mindset. Instead, he focuses on hydrating, reviewing his Get Stuff Done (GSD) list, and taking intentional steps to dominate his day. Tom agrees, emphasizing that even minor deviations from a morning routine can reduce the effectiveness of the day. They both believe that observing and adopting the habits of successful people can lead to similar outcomes. Bedros also shares his story of dropping out of college, feeling disconnected from the traditional education system, and finding his path in entrepreneurship. Actionable suggestions for modern life. 1. Establish a digital detox morning. Avoid checking social media, emails, or news first thing in the morning. Instead, dedicate the first hour to activities that set a positive and focused tone, like exercising, journaling, or planning your day. 2. Create and follow a Get Stuff Done (GSD) list. Start each day by writing down 3 or 5 critical tasks you need to accomplish. Prioritize these tasks to ensure that you're focusing on what truly matters and moving the needle in your work or personal life. 3. Hydrate and fuel your body. Begin your day by drinking a substantial amount of water, e.g. 30 ounces, to rehydrate after sleep. Follow this with a healthy breakfast or protein shake to fuel your body and mind for the day ahead. 4. Incorporate intentional exercise. Schedule a workout in the morning or shortly after completing your most important tasks. Exercise not only boosts physical health, but also enhances mental clarity and energy levels throughout the day. 5. Mind your sleep and wake-up time. Stick to a consistent sleep schedule and avoid hitting the snooze button. Waking up at the same time every day helps regulate your body's internal clock, leading to better sleep quality and more productive mornings. 6. Adopt a momentum-building mindset. Focus on building momentum early in the day. Small wins in the morning, like completing a task or following your routine, can create a positive snowball effect, making the rest of the day more productive. 7. Limit distractions during key tasks. When working on critical tasks, put your phone away or use apps that block distractions. This ensures that you can maintain deep focus and complete your work efficiently. 8. Observe and implement best practices. Identify successful people in your field and observe their habits and routines. Experiment with integrating some of these practices into your own life, even if you don't fully understand the reasons behind them initially. These suggestions are designed to help you maximize your productivity, maintain a positive mindset, and navigate the demands of modern life with greater efficiency.